Thanks for joining me today. My name is Brittany and I'm sitting here in Fairfax Pilates, which is a boutique studio in Northern Virginia. If you are in the area, we'd love for you to stop by and take one of our classes. So for today's workout that you'll be doing from home, we're going to go for about 20 minutes, and this one's going to be essential level 1 workout. So full body, but beginner level, and a lot of flexibility included. So this one's going to make you feel absolutely amazing. Good for all levels, though it is beginner. Advanced students, I encourage you to do this as well because we always need a review of the fundamentals. So get yourselves ready and I'll meet you right back here. Welcome back. We are ready to get started. So I have 3 red springs on, ready for footwork. Gonna lie down comfortably here, heels together, toes apart, and I like to just kind of move my hips around here a little bit and just make sure that my body is comfortable, using my arms, feeling the sides of the mat around my body so that I'm right in the middle. And once you're all situated, press out, pause. So here, as we extend our legs completely, the heels are connected, zipped all the way from the heels up to the pelvis, and then I'm going to actively press my straight arms down so I get a little tricep widening across the collar, and then we're going to come in, press, and then exhale. So you don't have to pause every time you come out, but I do like to do it a few times just to make sure that everything is connected and everything is in intention versus just being a little bit sloppy. I think footwork can get a little sloppy because we're so familiar with it. So just keep that intention as you press out. Connect all the inner thigh muscles, pelvic floor engages, and our collar is wide and our face is tension free. One more time here, guys. Out and then return. So we're going into parallel. I'm going to go right on the arch of my foot for a little foot massage and then push out. So you can have your feet completely together or you can do hip distance apart. It's up to you. So in and out. Now if your feet are not connected, you're going to have to be careful about the knees. You don't want them to be fishtailing as you bend in and out, keeping the knees tracking right over the second toe. Press. I prefer to inhale as I push out and then exhale, come back. Technically that's intermediate breath. However, it makes a lot of sense because we want to elongate the body as we press out, and exhale, we're sort of drawing in by shrink wrapping the waist to return. One more time, and we're going to stay on the heels now. Flex the feet back, and as we push, your feet are going to stay still as if they're pressing against a wall here, okay? A lot of people keep those toes flexed as they go in and out. I want your feet to be stationary, like you're just keeping them glued up against a wall. 4, 3, 2, and last. Let's go up to our high half toe. So you're going to push out right there. They're going to stay. So again, we don't want the heels to lift all the way in. We want to keep our heels in that high heel shoe so there is mobility at the ankles as we bend in and out. I always tell my students that as you're pressing out, it's as if you are slipping into a pair of heels. So you want to feel that calf work when you push out. My toes are lifted off the bar, which draws the vasti muscles, engages here and draws the kneecap up so that we are in proper alignment. 4, keep the abs on. One more time, we're going to hold it here and we're going to just sink and stretch. And then change. So we're really stretching out the back side of the leg that's lowering And we're stretching the front of the foot and the ankle on the opposite foot. It feels nice. So now let's just pick it up here and just go for a little prancing run here. So as your knee is bending, make sure again it's aiming at the second toe. 8, 7, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tippy toes, bend the knees, come in. Wide second. So I'm going to have my heels at the corners, knees and toes pressing out. Again, my heels and flat feet are against that imaginary wall. So as we're pushing out here, we're working into the glute medius on the sides of the hips and butt. Press and press. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come all the way in. Internally rotate, so our knees are connected. They stay together as long as they can before you press out and they separate. We're going to keep the shrink wrap waist sensation. Relax the muscles in your face. 3, 2, and 1. Come home. Let the knees just sway side to side. Okay, then we're going to just roll up and off. I'm going to drop my resistance down to 2 red springs, and then I'm coming right back down for mid-back series. So we've got the ropes for the hands. Give yourselves a little space at the shoulders. My knees are tabletop, and I'm going to press the arms straight down. Okay, so again, just feeling there and making sure you're centered. Lift and press. When you push down, you want to be pressing from the underarm. So the pinky edge of the hand up the forearm and the back side of the humerus, you want to be pressing with the back side. Mid-back series, not mid-front series. Okay? One more time. And then we're going to hold it here. We're going to open out towards that 45-degree line, and then we press. Press. So just changing the angle slightly. My knees are just pressing together gently. One more. We're going to hold it here and then out towards the letter T. We're going to pause right there. You're going to keep your lowest rib actively pressing down because this is where we can pop. So we're going to press down, hug, open, hug. If you feel anything in your lower back, we need to improve that imprint. So you're going to connect that lower abdomen a little bit better. And if the engagement of the muscles alone don't help, you can cheat by just bringing your knees in just a whisper until your lower abdominals are strong enough to support the weight of the legs on their own. Pausing here. Circle up, out, and around. So mid-back series is a great example of an exercise that feels good no matter the level that you can work in. So even advanced students, you want to really fine-tune this particular exercise. One more time, pausing here, and then we're going in reverse. So advanced students really ought to be focusing among everyone else, but in particular, the advanced students should be focusing on what's not moving. Really connect to all the supporting muscle groups here and make your body very strong and very stable. One more time, here, right into our triceps. So I'm keeping my elbows just floating off of the mat so that when I press my arm to straight here, it's a full extension of the arm. Sometimes when the elbows are here, we don't get that full extension. People kind of shortchange it there. So just press it completely to straight. Keep that low rib down, abs are in. For 3, and 2, and 1, and then we're going to rest, put the feet down. Okay, let's move right into feet in straps, keeping the same springs. When legs go out long, always checking that you find yourself in the middle. It is about alignment, so we want to make sure we're continuously in perfect alignment. Legs hinge, and then press. So as your legs travel forward, we want to stop when the shoulder blocks and the ropes are near each other. The rope should never touch the body. Inhale, the legs float up. Before I go, I'm squeezing with my glutes and my pelvic floor to then drive the legs down with ease. So there's no strain, there's no effort coming from the lower back. Now I'm going to continue here on this next one in a lateral rotation. So I just pivot, my heels are still together, toes are still in point, and I've got that connection in my pelvic floor as well as my glutes. And one more time, pausing here, we're going to rotate the knees and toes inward, and we've got that same lift and lower movement. Inhaling up, exhaling down. And we're going to pause, laterally rotate, in, point, out. Bend in, push out. And last two, we're going to go out here. Parallel feet, we're going to come straight up and stop. Hold the carriage steady. Open the legs apart, close. Open apart, close, push down. Inhale, up. Exhale. And again, together and down. Just twice more. Open and close the legs, really stretching in the inner thighs here. Meanwhile, we're still getting that isometric in the hammies and the glutes because we are keeping the carriage from moving here. And again. And then we're going to push it forward. Just double check that your headrest is flat. And we're going to do the level 1 short spine. So I'm going to let my legs come all the way in, lifting up just a little, bending the knees, and then lowering the hips back down, and then press. So primary difference, I'm not rolling all the way up. I'm letting the springs do most of the work here. So see how they're lifting me up here just by the resistance of the springs? And then I'm just sort of tucking into a little ball. I'm going to lower the hips down, feet to seat, and press. So this is a lot less lower abs and much more focus on stretching the lower back. One more time. Lengthen. Do a subtle lift in the lower back. Lower the hips back down and then press. Leg circles, big ones, around. Inhale up and then exhale to circle around and close. Good, let's reverse for 3. 1, 2, and 3. Let's go ahead and bend the knees in, and I'm going to just take the feet out of the strap. Just go ahead and drop them in the well behind, and we're going to come up and roll off. 1 red, 1 blue. We're going to have our hands on the bar, and our feet are stepping here for elephant. So I've got my heels heavy with my weight over my legs. Hands are secure on the bar, shoulders away from the ears. Don't wrap the thumbs. The thumb and fingers are on the same team. We're going to make sure that the knees point towards the second toe, and we're in flexion. Press the legs out to stretch the lower leg, And then we create more roundness in the low back to bring it home. Inhale there, exhale. It's as if you're being punched in the tummy every time the carriage comes in. You want to scoop your waist up, starting now and lifting, 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 lifting until the carriage docks. And exhale. Tension free in the neck and shoulders. And we pause there. Lengthen your spine. We're going to stay flat-footed as we switch over to our flat foot here, okay? All right, so out and in. The effort switches here, okay? So we go into the little bit lower abs than the rounded back elephant. And you should get a stretch not only in the lower leg, but now also across the base of the shoulder blades. And pull in. 2 more. And we bring it all the way in. Let's come down to our knees. I'm going to remove the red spring, leaving just the blue. Knees down, feet against the shoulder blocks. And I'm going to simply drop my hips forward, open the shoulders across the collar here, and I'm going to stay on the knees as I press out and then I pull in. Now when I pull in, I'm pulling all the way into the dock. Inhale, we travel out, and then exhale, home. So as I'm coming in, it's like I'm bending the bar. So you want to trigger all the muscles down here on the sides of the ribs. 4, 3, 1 more. And then all the way in. Round your backs here to keep that nice flexion. Okay, so we're going to stay in this roundness, shoulders away from the ears. I'm going to add a white spring, blue and a white for knee stretches. So we're going to keep our knees down. Notice that my butt isn't over the hips and it's not over the feet, but it's kind of in between. And our backs are rounded just here, okay? And then we're going to press and in. This is not a hip flexor exercise. I'm pulling in with my tummy every time I bring the carriage back in. That's why I go with the lightweight. I think the recommended springs for stot is 2 reds. I like it light, blue and white. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then I'm going to just elongate the spine, shoulders away from the ears, and again, my butt sort of halfway between the knee and the foot, and I'm going to keep that support in the shoulders, and I'm pulling in. As I pull in, again, it's from my tummy. So I'm pulling in from my tummy to bring the carriage all the way in. 5, and 4, 3, 1 more time, and 1. Good. And then I'm going to actually leave the springs just there, and I'm going to turn all the way around and do a little back rowing. So legs slip through the center. You need a hand's width of room behind your bottom. And then I'm going to have my knuckles together right up here at chest height. And I'm going to just tuck and roll back. So as I roll back, I'm trying to increase the distance here. So I'm rolling my torso away from the femurs here. And I'm going to just keep this like so. My legs are pointed at the toe, and I'm going to hold here. And then I'm just going to take the shape forward, and then I'm rounding and rolling back. And then forward and then back. So this isn't full backstroke. This is like backstroke prep, okay? So just create the curve. Because when we go into intermediate, we start adding a lot of choreography. And if we lose some of this fundamental stuff, the choreography gets lost, right? So it's all about this deep connection in the lower belly. And let's get 2 more. And we're gonna stay here. So from here, I'm just gonna do regular clutch bicep. So I'm pulling in and I'm reaching. Now, again, my focus, my primary thought is on my lower abs. So I'm scooping in through my belly and I'm keeping my pelvis tucked under. Now, this is light on the upper body. So if it's light for you, you can do 1 arm at a time here. So I like light because it challenges the abs better than if it were heavy. You have to trade off. So heavy, harder on the upper body, easier on the belly. Lighter is the opposite. Let's get 1 more on each side here. Pull and pull. And then I'm going to stay in this curve. Flip the palms up, and I'm going to just do traditional biceps here. So I'm intentionally not coming up for a break as we're building endurance in the abs. Same, you can do that with 1 arm. When you move into 1 arm, we start to challenge the obliques better. You want to go for quiet in terms of the movement of the body. The only moving part in this instance is the alternating elbow flexion. Let's get 1 more on each side. And again. Okay. And then bring the hands back in towards the center. I'm still here, okay? So we haven't taken a break yet. I'm just gonna do a tiny twist. Twist, twist. You might have a little shaking going on in the tummy. That is good. And 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. 1 more time. Center. And then just go ahead and stretch over the legs. That's a great opportunity to hang up your straps and lean forward. Sit all the way up. And then we're going to do a nice mermaid to wrap it up. So sitting sideways, the shin is parallel against both of the shoulder blocks. And we're just going to press out as we lift up and rotate to face downward. Holding it here. Lift the chest, pull the body up. And then press out. Rotate, untwist, and come out. Grab the block, and we're going this way. And then let's do that again. Up, and rotate. Widen the grip, press, lengthen the chest. So here, shoulders down. And then we press out, twist, and we go overhead. Up here. I'm going to spin around. Same thing on the back side, of course. Okay, press out, up, over. Spread the hands, push. We're trying to be in a rounded spine. And then we come up into extension, dropping the shoulders down. Pressing out. Untwist, over, and then up. 1 more. Up, rotate, widen the hands on the bar, press out, lift the chest, shoulders down, and then we press out again, untwist, up and out, foot bar arm overhead. 1 last thing. Get rid of the white so we have just the blue. I'm going to put my feet on the bar and my hands, and I'm going to just fold in half. Here, let the head fall down towards the ground. Bend the knees, come in. I'm going to switch places. Now my hands are between the feet, pressing out, and again, dropping the head and neck. Bend the knees, come back in, and we are all finished. So thank you for joining me today for this beginner level workout. I hope to see you next time.